Hans Fowler Price, he created more than 800 projects in Weston-super-Mare. He was wonderfully flamboyant. He was a workaholic and clearly stands head and shoulders above any other developer or any other architect in Weston-super-Mare's history. With this project, we'll all be able to look at, look up, and look into the building. This is something which will last into the next century, and I think all who have been involved in it should be mighty proud in what they've achieved.
Keeping the heritage of the building is very important because you see developers take these buildings and they sort of do a half-baked approach to it. And because this building has so much character on the front, likewise some of other Hans Price buildings in the town, it gives, as a Westonian, I think it's what gives Weston its identity. And to have a building of this quality and this prominence on one of the, the better roads in the town, a main road, is a feature. Whilst we were working in the very front of the building, which is grade 2 listed, we're trying to be very sympathetic to the building. And I personally lifted the floorboards for the electricians. And when we did lift one of them, there was a part of a sealed envelope in there. And then there was a halfpenny from the last century. And that had been put in under the floor by a former employee of Weston Mercury. So what we've done, we've cleaned the penny, and now the penny has been reinstated in the building as on the top, on the front gable. When we complete a building, it's known as topping out, and that coin has been bedded in that mortar, so it's become an integral part of the building and will stay here forever.
My name is David Agassiz, and I chair Weston's Civic Society, which takes a keen interest in the historical aspects of the town centre. You only need to see it to realise that it's clearly of significance with its tower, and being built by or designed by Hans Price, it fits in with very much with all the buildings which he has created around the town. I'm really pleased that the town council have taken it on because that brings the Weston Town Council into the middle of the community, more accessible than in Grove Park.
Hello, I am Dr. Kate Hudson-Macaulay. I am the Principal Conservation and Heritage Officer for North Somerset Council. Due to its heritage significance, both at a local scale and actually a national scale, the building is grade 2 listed, which means it's not just important locally, it's an important asset nationally. One of the most important parts of this heritage significance is its architectural significance. The building is designed in a very elaborate Dutch Baroque style, which has influence of Spanish architecture as well, which comes from a Victorian time period where the prominent architect Hans Price, who designed this building, were doing things like tours of Europe and tours of the wider empire at the time. Hans Price was known to take his sketch pad with him, and he would sketch buildings from Spain and Europe, and then he'd bring those designs back and try and build them into his designs for Weston. And this one is extremely unique because it's the only example of Dutch Baroque style within Weston at this level. It's important to Weston to look after these buildings because they're part of our heritage. They're part of what makes our streetscapes unique and what makes them wonderful to walk down. And a lot of the campaign through North Somerset Council working with Weston Town Council is to inspire people to actually look at the architecture of these buildings, look up above the shop front and actually see the rich tapestry of architecture that we have in the town. And the Mercury building, or Waterloo Street as it's listed as, is one of the most uniquely designed buildings within that street theme in the boulevard. It has so many different design elements on it that when you actually stop to look at it, you see something different each time. And it's a remarkable silhouette of a building within that street. One of the interesting things about Hans Price style architecture, which you can see not just in the Mercury building, but within the town itself, is his prominent use of specific materials. One is called Weston stone, which is the grey stone that you see within the area. One of the other ones is more commonly known as Bath stone, but this scientifically is known as oolitic limestone. The Mercury building is primarily built out of the Neolithic limestone and sandstones. The reason that Hans Price chooses these materials is because, particularly for the Mercury building, was because they're easy to carve. So he was able to create this unique carved building with stone mullions and beautiful detailing and large tower with beautiful carvings around the arcade and pilasters, is because this stone is so malleable. This is also part of the reason Weston Town Council has now put a lot of effort and care into trying to update and look after and restore this building. Unfortunately, though this stone is really easy to carve, it's also very quick to deteriorate in the salt environment. So it's resulted in the Weston Town Council putting in a lot of love and care into this building to bring some of these carving back to their original glory. North Somerset Council is very supportive of Weston Town Council's effort to rejuvenate this building and also keep it partly accessible to the public. So the public will be able to go into the building as well. It creates a wonderful public asset for the town. There's a common misconception that because it's grade 2 listed, it's locally important and not nationally, and it's not true. All listed buildings are important nationally. So it isn't just important to West, it's important to the whole country.